Hello UT and hello the world, I'm your host, Andrew Rosas. You know, walls have done some of the hardest work over the centuries. The Great Wall kept tribal hordes out of China, Hadrian's Wall kept the Scots out of Roman colonies, and Pink Floyd's The Wall kept blacklight poster companies in business. But these walls made of stone, rock, and prog rock aren't doing all walls could be doing. And thanks to a collaboration with the UT Architecture Department and the LBJ Wildflower Center, these urban structures are about to get a serious ecological upgrade. Enter UT's Living Wall. And we have Assistant Architecture Professor Danelle Briscoe, who designed the wall, here to talk with us. So, Professor, how did this project even come about?
When I first started as an assistant professor at UT, I met a man named Mark Simmons, who was the director of ecology at the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Research Center. He had done extensive research on green roofs, and I was interested in collaborating with him on a vertical system that was appropriate for this climate.
The geometric design of this wall is modern and modular and actually functions as living space for small wildlife. But this isn't something a monkey could go pick up at IKEA. No, this wall was meticulously designed and had to take our local environment and plant life into account. So how is this wall actually constructed?
We knew from that first study that we had to maximize soil volume, which meant that the cells themselves are, at least 18 inches by 18 inches of depth to get as much soil so that it's not just going to roast in a 4-inch pot. The cells are also very unique in their geometry. What you can't see behind us is that they actually stack like this so that each cell is shading the one around it. And that aspect is something that we gained from looking at cacti and other plant species that seem to be fairly hardy in this environment and how they self-shade and potentially decrease their temperature by up to 30 degrees in some cases.
So what sets this architecture apart from similar green systems in urban building?
The incorporation of ecological habitats into our wall system is incredibly unique. You don't find that in any other system in the world. I think that the focus is always primarily plants and how that patterning can bring and benefit the environment and ecology, but we're also providing cells that might be those housing necessities for bees or birds and lizards, other aspects that we want to have benefit from the wall and be promoted on campus.
The architecture department has worked closely with the LBJ Wildflower Center and Michelle Bright to curate the specific plants that would thrive in this installation. So have you found that this design is similar to green roofs and how plants respond to their configuration?
We are excited to say that in a vertical form, it's almost similar in terms of conditions that a green roof would go through. So the amount of heat things would kind of heat up to. And that's also why we picked this west-facing wall as well, is to test something out in its most extreme kind of situation.
So how were the plants chosen for this project?
The plant material itself, it took us a little time to actually get to which plants we wanted to try out. Now I will preface that all these plants we're trying, we're seeing if they work and if they like this as a new habitat type for themselves. A lot of people forget when we're doing things that involve plant material or landscape, they don't really think that we're making habitat, but we in fact are. We're trying to make a system in which this plant will not only survive but thrive. So we took a lot of cues from the surrounding ecoregions of Austin and in Austin. Some of the plant material we looked to places in the hill country where if you've ever been to like Hamilton Pools and if you've seen those cliffs of limestone, some of those plants we actually have incorporated into this wall here.
Aside from being very aesthetically pleasing, what are the benefits of a living wall?
Yeah, we are trying to find out overall, and green roofs are very similar to green walls in this aspect, what sort of ecosystem services they provide back to us in a city setting. And some of those are very tangible, like how you can cool down a building or a surface behind it, how you can slow down stormwater. So these can actually slow down stormwater. Instead of it just hitting that limestone and falling off, it gets absorbed by the roots and goes through the soil. They also, some green walls and green roofs actually reduce the particulate matter of air pollutants in the air. So there's all sorts of good things they do for us. But I think the most exciting thing is just to get more green in our cities, which, I mean, overall, human health is very much linked to the amount of time we get outside and to that sort of quality time we have outside. So the more we can kind of increase that in our cities, the better we might become as, I think, a society overall.
This is a very special collaborative project for UT, and this green design feels right at home here in Austin. Who knows, if this project is successful, maybe we'll see a lot more walls with plant systems around town. Now, if we could only get the plants to spell out "I love you so much," people's engagement photos might be getting a lot more green as well. Hey, if you like this video, why don't you share it with your friends, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, I'm your host, Andrew Rosas, reminding you to stay hooked.